Good design, at least part of the time, includes the criterion of being direct in relation to the problem at hand. Not obscure, trendy, or stylish. A new language, visual or verbal, must be couched in language that is already understood. Welcome to Foundations of Educational Technology, Chapter Facilitation. Chapter 14, Designing Technology-Supported Learning Environments. To design something is to decide upon that something's look and function. Generally, things that are designed are done so to make those things easier and more pleasant to use. While this might seem obvious to us, the actual application and maximization of design is a challenging and often uncertain process, especially in regards to human use. This same overarching principle must also be applied to education, and the same challenges and uncertainties are emphasized in the sensitive and critical environment. Another issue is that many educators focus on simplifying the design process. Take a look at this normal distribution curve. Most would be inclined to focus their design towards catering to students in areas C and D, since they compose of 64% of the student populace. Better designers will cater further, reaching to the B and E areas. However, the great majority of designers will neglect the A and F sections under the comforting justification that those in the area F will perform well regardless of the curriculum, and those in area A will never achieve mastery anyway. Regardless, in many situations, schools simply do not have the resources to accommodate students in all areas, and will attempt to focus on the majority. And of course, there are exceptions. For example, gifted and talented courses are built specifically with the area A in mind. In terms of technology-facilitated learning specifically, design takes a more focused approach. Examples of challenges faced by those in educational technology include system interfaces, media objects, and accessibility and presentation of user feedback. Furthermore, EdTech educators need to consider consistency across their various interfaces to maximize user efficiency and understanding. Table 14.1 illustrates universal design, which refers to the concept of creating an environment that is free of the obstructions that users may encounter, including those with disabilities. It is a good place to begin in designing tech for educational use. At this point, Spector summarizes 10 principles of meaningful design. Number 1, what is designed can and should be evaluated. Make sure that what you are designing is measurable, both in implementation and the intended purpose. Number 2, design should be human-centered. Consider the audience who will be subject to your learning environment, including their prior knowledge, abilities, interests, and practical uses for the knowledge. Also anticipate users who may expand upon this audience. Number 3, the use and purpose should drive the design. A general rule of thumb is that form should follow function. One mistake designers often make is to focus first on form, then try to fit the function in. Number 4, a design should be cognitively meaningful. The intent and overall purpose should be clear to the implementers as well as the users. Number 5, a design should be perceptually attractive. This is all about aesthetics, fonts, composition, emphasis, consistency, and more. Make your work look good. Number 6, a design should be consistent. That which repeats should be designed with consistency to help users quickly grasp what they are looking at in the interface. Number 7, a design should be easily modified. If Principle 1 was followed properly, then feedback should be flowing in regularly, prompting design changes. Therefore, a design should be straightforward and simple enough that changes could be applied with minimal hassle. Number 8, the process should consider the broader context and culture. Investigating and understanding the educational environment to which your design will be applied is critical to your design success. Number 9, the design process should include use testing and field trials prior to dissemination. It often pays off in the long term to have your design tested by representative users before a mass deployment. And finally, number 10, design is both creative and an engineering enterprise. This final principle references Principle 3. The balance of form and function are vital. Both the hammer and the nail are integral to the construction of the house. Aesthetics and function are similarly integral to the construction of your design. The final section of the chapter contains anecdotes of potential design missteps that others have encountered. Most of these examples are the result of neglecting the 10 principles of meaningful design, detailed in the previous section. The main points of each anecdote will now be quickly summarized. Clever programming, or aesthetics, do not always result in an effective design. Too much multitasking in the design can result in an overwhelming cognitive load in the user. An interface that is too punishing on the user can lead to minimal improvement of knowledge and skills. Integrating multiple ways to navigate an interface will increase accessibility. Humor and cliches are often not understood outside of specific cultures. And make sure that your design is comprehensible to the users. In conclusion, design is a complicated and challenging process that takes much consideration. But by following the general principles of meaningful design, there is hope that your designs are not the worst things in the world. Have hope, everyone, and praise the sun.